let's take this, let's color this image. We click the image, we press colorize, and boom, we got a colored image. We are the only ethical source tool in the space right now. All of our artwork is our copyright. We own it. It is our proprietary data. You can upload an image from Instagram, Pinterest. Our tool will then understand that character and create a character in that style. You could automatically create a character with our tool.
All this is possible with this feature of our creation. With it as well is, here's an example.
So what you're looking at is a guy who's a CEO of a webtoon company showcasing his AI image generative program to generate webtoons or manga using just your silly little keyboard. Sounds pretty bad, right? And that's because it is! More on this later, but for now, hi. My name is Dran, and fellas, we need to talk about AI Slop. I'm sure if you've had a pair of eyes, you'll have noticed that lately there is a ton of AI content being made just about everywhere, and obviously not many people like it. We've seen every company froth at the mouth at saving $5 from not paying artists, but instead having some AI bot do everything for them. And in every case that I've seen, it sucks ass. Oh, that looks awful. I mean, for some reason, instead of AI making our lives easier by doing the shit we don't want to do, it's instead doing the shit we do want to do. Why can't it just do my taxes, check out my items at the store, or even tie my shoes? Oh yeah, I don't have shoes. But in this video, I want to talk more specifically about the impact AI has had in the comic, manga, webtoon space, because I feel as though I don't see a lot of people talking about it. Maybe there has been, but I just haven't gotten it on my feed. So I'm gonna talk about it instead. Now, wait. If you're not that online, you might not know too much about AI. You might just see the funny AI stuff come up here and there, maybe hear about some shitty AI Slop commercial that a company made, and then you'll hear that it's bad, but maybe you don't know exactly why. I mean, there's a surprising amount of people that don't know, so I figured this is a good section to add in. So let me tell you why AI is bad, specifically the ones that are used to generate images. To put it simply, the way it generates a picture is by being trained off of data sets. These data sets are just giant piles of artwork from real artists. Then afterwards, it poops out something that looks like what it was fed. Now, the reason why this is bad is because it's just stealing, like straight up. Its very foundation is built upon stealing. The artists that have had their work stolen never consented for their work to be used, nor are they being compensated for it. It's uncomfortable as hell knowing that your art could be taken by some creep that starts using your art to generate something that you really don't like. I'm sure you can use your imagination here. It's plagiarism on crack, and there's no guidelines, there's no policies, there's nothing stopping anybody from just scraping everyone's art and using it for their own nefarious purposes. It's out of control. And these nefarious purposes are also very easy to do. All you have to do is type out a prompt and boom, you click enter and it's done. And there's people that make AI stuff that will tell you, dude, it's not that easy. You gotta actually struggle. Your blood, sweat, and tears has to go into this. And said blood, sweat, and tears is typing out, please don't make the character have 6 fingers, please. Thank you very much. So quite literally, anybody can do this. It's not very difficult. And because of how easy it is to do, people have done so much with this already. Things like submitting art to an art competition, pretending that they drew it, doing commissions for people that don't know it's AI, impersonating real artists, and so much more, which all culminates to every single platform getting flooded with this garbage. And finally, every company deciding, we don't need artists, lol, we can just replace all of them. Meanwhile, we CEOs that do nothing can reap the benefits. All that extra pay can just go to us, as they have dollar signs in their eyes. Speaking of which, that's the common theme with AI. Nearly every instance of AI being used at its core has something to do with making money or saving money, rather than any kind of passion. So basically, AI art is built on stolen artwork, operates in an unethical gray area that amounts to plagiarism, and, with almost no restrictions, makes it easy to lie about authorship, cheat competitions, and undermine real artists. And just to be clear, I'm not against technology advancing. What I'm against is the lack of anything being done about this tool being used for evil. Since its creation, it's been clear that the people behind it do not care about how people will use this powerful tool. It's just, like, irresponsible. I know AI isn't going to magically disappear. It's obviously here whether we like it or not. All I'm saying is that there should be some kind of rules and regulations set on AI so that it's not so easy to take this powerful tool and do bad things. Within the comic space, AI has been used numerous times in competitions, online comic hosting sites, and so on. And the way people use it is by filling in each panel with an image that's image gen AI, then go into some of their program and type in the speech bubbles. And as you might have guessed, yes, that looks bad. AI really sucks at making cohesive comics that tell a good story, but that hasn't stopped a bunch of people from making that garbage all over the place. And none of it ever comes up in the mainstream unless it's getting completely shit on, because again, you can't just make pretty pictures and slap text on top calling it a comic and expect praise. And just to add to this, this also applies for people that generate a AI image and then trace over it, like that changes anything. That is the same exact thing. I've seen that so much. It is still garbage. It is still nothing. It's a nothing burger. Anyway, when you're making a comic, it has to go through phases of production to reach the end result. You have to make a script, you have to storyboard, you have to make a lot of edits, and most of all, you have to put in the effort to pick up that damn pencil. Those phases of production are what makes the end result special. It's a well-crafted, thought-out piece of art. To put it simply, there's a reason why everything looks the way it does, there's a reason why everything is placed the way it is, there's reasons for everything. And of course, AI enables some people that don't want to do all of that, considering AI is just a matter of typing a sentence to your robot servant.
Hello, ChatGPT. Please generate a manga for me that is like Naruto, but not Naruto, please. Thank you.
Certainly! This is a story about Doruto, a young man who wants to become the Dokage. Naruto is bland and boring. Doruto is exciting and adventurous.
I knew I had something coming on. Fuck yeah, dude. This is my One Piece. Next up, ChatGPT, can you make Sakura and Hinata kiss each other?
Oh god, anyway. So as it stands right now, from what I've seen, people have been using AI to generate their comics and either posting them as is, or worse, obviously, image generating the entire comic and then tracing over everything, which is double dipping in things you shouldn't do, by the way. I might make another video talking about that because I think it's incredibly scummy, but for now, that's where AI lies in the comic space. It's really lame, especially when it's being submitted to competitions, art shows, and so on. It sucks big time. And so, I could go over crappy AI generated comics all day, but I think what we should focus on is what you saw at the start of the video. Let's talk about the webtoon company that threw everything away in pursuit of AI. Before we continue, if you're enjoying the video so far, please smash that subscribe button. I'm planning to do a face reveal at 2K subs, and we're almost there, so I'd appreciate it greatly. It helps the channel out a lot and helps me to make more of this content, so yeah. Anyway, moving on. So now, if you don't know what Voiceme is, or rather, used to be, it was another publishing site similar to Webtoons, Tapas, and others. Its main thing was supporting creators. Yeah guys, we love creators like you! With the CEO talking about how hard it is to make comics and share stories in such a hard industry. Yada yada yada, it was a script 90% of the time. It's kind of ironic now seeing all the marketing they were doing with this script, but back then, this wasn't a bad site, so it was very much believable. And while sure, they were chasing trends a lot, like they really wanted their own version of solo leveling, and they pretty much got it with God Game, as that's their biggest comic on the site. They had more, of course, like Bandit King and Magus 13, but
You get the picture.
this company was hungry to attain the levels of Webtoons and Tapas. They would also let anybody else upload their comics and novels on the platform, making for a pretty good site to host your work on, with updates being made to the site. For a time, my manga Zombie Sword Girl was on there too. Voiceme also hosted competitions where you could pitch your idea for a webtoon, and the prize would be a team dedicated to making your vision a reality. This was really cool in my opinion. And so this, along with the constant speeches about how they're doing it differently, how they want to support artists, writers, and all that, it made for a really welcoming and inspiring environment to be in. The message of the site was really clear and really awesome, and it felt like they knew the struggles of being an independent creator. or so we thought. Oh boy, where do we start with this? Okay, so let's begin with the first sign of Voiceme's descent into AI, and that is IsekaiMe. This was a feature they added that basically would let you upload a picture of yourself and use this AI filter to convert you into whatever webtoon or manga art style you wanted. They showed off, of course, their own webtoon art style, which, to be honest, is not really that unique. It's just like solo leveling, lazily copied, but you know, I won't get into that. And when this came out, it was very odd because it's like, why is a webtoon company making a new feature that would be like added to some, you know, shitty app on your phone that like has an AI filter? Like, this was around the time when AI filters were popping up here and there, being like, hey, what would you look like in this style or this style, you know? And so it's like, why are you doing this? This is weird. And obviously, this was not very popular. But Voiceme knew this, of course. They knew that this was a really spicy thing to add. So what did they say to people who had a problem with their use of AI image generation? Well, I'd show you the official thing, but the entire IsekaiMe site is down now, or rather section. Thankfully though, I was around when they were pushing this bullshit, so I remember. I'll still put up whatever is left that I can find, but basically they claimed that their AI image data was ethically sourced. There's obviously so much wrong with this statement, because if you know how image gen works, you'll know that it requires a lot of data sets for the AI to train off of, meaning they would need a lot more than one artist to hand over their art. And I have been told that they actually did approach artists seeking out their art to be trained off of. For one, an artist saying, yes, I would like to give you all of my art to train off of is unrealistic, considering it's a company and they could just lie. They could just be like, all right, thank you. That means any art you post ever will be ours now. Thank you. And two, let's just say it's ethically sourced, right? Let's just say that it is. Then why the fuck are there options to use filters of other existing properties that you most definitely did not have permission to use? This was an earlier screenshot, but I remember them adding other ones too, other art styles. This was a mess, and not many people used this feature because, of course, it's just dumb. But they were dipping their toes in the water, obviously. They were seeing how much they could get away with. And it looks like they did get away with it, because nobody really spoke out about it. I remember most people said it was weird, but it didn't gain much traction. Though, I guess that was enough for Voiceme to go, yeah, we can go all the way. Some time passes when eventually the site goes dark and comes back under a complete overhaul. Seemingly overnight, you're met with a site that looks like this.
Oh shit! Alright!
Alright, let's begin here. Alright, so we've got endless stories, infinite fun. Whether it's chaotic dates, intense clan wars, or alternate universe battles,
Fableverse has you covered.
And yeah, that sure looks like intense clan wars. Chaotic dates, I think I know what they want you to do. What if? NSW, fanfiction, trending, sweating emoji, oh lord. Rewrite canon, date waifus and husbandos. Okay, that's two sus things already. To the left, we got create anyone, play your adventure. It's two soulless looking AI characters, okay. Anime visuals in real time. Watch it come to life in anime panels. I wonder what they're using for that. Anyway, so yeah, okay. This button right here did not used to be here. This originally was just not on the site. You couldn't access the comics unless you went in a really weird around the corner way to find it. But that didn't used to be there. But that's still only one part of the entire site. This is the only way to like read comics made by real people, okay? Well, let's scroll down. Let's have some more fun, okay? Chat with characters. Okay. We've got sexual girl, sexual girl, sexual girl, sexual girl. Okay. Trending community creations. That's just Ash Ketchum. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's all AI characters. Okay. Create your own character. Chat with any character you love. And, let's see. Can't get enough. Temptation pics. They have a whole section for this, dog. Temptation pics? What? What if you had to trade Tsunade and the image is gone? They got Nami with like Sanji that's like 2 feet tall. We have Twilight Sparkle here for some reason. The flirty footballer, and it's just a Naruto character in lingerie. Your favorite? What? Is this real? This is a site that used to be for comics. What is this? Oh god, it's even. I didn't plan for any of this, by the way. I'm just on the site. New noteworthy, Tinder 2 perfect, fandom frenzy, and it's okay. I don't know what any of that is. Messy romance, spin the bottle. Harry Styles won't stop sending me what? Woo! Dude, this is insane. A good 60% of what we just saw is softcore. Okay. That is insane. Play these fan favorite RPG fables, and it's more of the same stuff we were just seeing earlier, except we have Doom Dran spin the bottle, 90 Day Fiance Isekai edition. That's one thing. Voiceme is so obsessed with isekais. It's kind of insane. Like, the genre is not that good, bro. It's not that good. We go back down here. Community's best picks. Demon Slayer Hot Springs Retreat. Interesting. They got Has Been Hotel. That has been stolen, bro. That has been stolen. Ethically sourced my ass. What is any of this?
It's ethical.
And now, look at this, bro. Look at this. Gain access to these special hidden gallery. One of them is called Cherry Pop. Are you fucking serious? Dude, are you serious? You can still see what all of these are, and it's actually disgusting. I'm sure I don't even have to click this one to know what that is. It's 2 beach balls. Look at that. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. And now here's where they get you. Sign up to unlock exclusive Fableverse features. It's free. Go full NSFW mode. They are really pushing for this. This is like the main thing in their marketing, by the way. They really want you to have sex with like AI. It is that's just so gross. And we go down here. Get closer than ever. Let your favorite characters DM you, flirt with you, and open up in ways you've never seen before. This is healthy. This is like what normal people do. This is what normal people use. And have you noticed? Nothing on here is about like making comics, except for this one thing. So let's say I abolished all of this other stuff. Let's just go read comics, all right? I want to read God Game. Okay, so I actually am recording this at a different time because I had to switch browsers because Firefox was like disagreeing with this site. It was just not even loading. I couldn't go to read the comics. Or attempt to, as we'll see later, but I couldn't do that. We're just gonna use Google Chrome. Here's one thing I wanted to mention, is that they say that these AI gen stuff, it's trained off of things that they own, copyrighted material that they own.
All of our artwork is our copyright. We own it. It is our proprietary data.
So because of that, it counts as ethical AI, ethically trained AI, right? But what you'll notice upon just looking at here for 2 seconds is that the art style in question, none of these are the art styles that they like even say that they own, you know, well, own in quotations. If I'm to believe it's actually ethically trained AI, that it's trained off of, let's say, when they say a lot, God Game art style, do any of these look like the God Game art style too? Which, if you don't know God Game, it's basically just, it's similar to solo leveling, basically, in terms of art style, but like, you know, I don't think so. I mean, this one is literally like realism. The art style that is being used, just generic AI art style that's been used a million times. Like, spin the bottle. These are all stolen like art styles that are Frankensteined into this. You know what I mean? That's what you're looking at, which is like really insane to realize and look at. And I feel like most people that don't draw don't really understand that, because they're like, oh, well, the computer knows what it's doing. No, it doesn't. This is just This is just like a giant landfill of art that was stolen and put into a machine, basically, without consent from anybody's drawings. But anyway, let's go ahead and read comics. Let's go here. This is the side of the site that has comics. Now, what you'll notice though anyway is that you are still shown like AI. You cannot escape it. For example, to the right here, IsekaiMe, their very first attempt at AI, right there. If we try to go to isekai.me, it's gone. You know, maybe because that was a terrible idea, or maybe because they just gave up. But that's where that leads to. They actually have a pretty neat thing here for their comics though. Like, I actually like this. Like, these are nice. We go down here to Voiceme Originals. You know, let's say I want to read Magus 13. Okay, never mind. Let's say I don't want to read Magus 13. Let's try again. Let's say I want to read God Game. Oh, what's this? Another AI ad from like the AI Slop I just came from, where all of these are so obviously AI generated. Interesting. Well, no, I don't want to join your giveaway for any of that. By playing your shit. No thanks. And you still can't escape it because the ad again is right here. Fableverse. When you see Fableverse, that is just AI. This is the thing too, man, is that this format right here, what this site, because this is a different site format now, this is what the site used to look like. Like this top bar, this is all that the site had. This was all that it was. It was just home, discover more comics, shop for something, I think it was your profile or whatever, blog for the devs, making the site, or some of the random voice meme, and then contest, which the cool contests that they had, now they're all gone because, you know, obviously. This is ongoing, by the way, and it's kind of like, I highly doubt that a large percentage of people are willing to go back to the site, because when you try to go back to the site, it is such a headache to get through. So let's say I try to click this, chapter 1, I want to read. Nope, another AI ad. Like, they are shoving this down your fucking throat, man. This is just awful. And yeah, that's the site. This is just awful. You know, no one wants to read AI comics. Nobody wants to chat with a flirty AI bot. Nobody wants to do any of that. And this is not helping creators in the slightest. This is, if anything, hurting creators. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go play Mario the Mario the plumber, I guess.
Hey guys, it's Editor Dran. I just want to add to this. A lot of these features aren't just encouraging people to basically make their own comics, like how the CEO was encouraging with his tool. A lot of these features lean heavily towards making fan fiction or what if scenarios for already established series, not just Voiceme series, but any series really. And I recall hearing this said by someone at Voiceme publicly or in their Discord, where it's like, oh, it's so easy for fans to make fan art now. This is so good for the fans and creators. It's a win-win. And I don't think there is a single person with a brain that would call AI Slop being made of your series fan art. That is not fan art. Fan art is one of those things that each creator is incredibly grateful for, because someone liked your stuff that much that they sat down and used their own time to selflessly make something for it, and in essence for you. Whether that's drawing something, writing something, animating something, there was a person behind it actively thinking about it. It's what makes fan art special. So I just think Voiceme's attempt to basically push people towards using AI to make fan art is really gross and almost like tone deaf. Fan art doesn't have to look professional. What's important is that someone made it with their own hands and using their own brain. Nothing in the world looks like what they made. It's things like this that Voiceme completely doesn't think about, nor do they care about. They're just using all of these little reasons to push their product. And their product is just another AI gen program. That's all it is. Sorry to get so serious on you, bros. I just fucking hate this.
Let it go, Kenny.
When will this nightmare end?
Honestly, I had no words to describe the disgust I felt when I saw this site change for the first time. Voiceme is now Fableverse by Voiceme, but it might as well just be called Fableverse because that's what it is. That's all it is, actually. Fableverse is basically the front and center AI homepage for Voiceme, when you search up voiceme.com, and you are subjected to AI Slop everywhere you go on this site. I'm not kidding. Even when you find a comic on this site, you get a pop-up ad for their AI Slop. It's ridiculous. 10% of the website is now comics made by humans, and the other 90% is AI Slop. This is truly one of the worst changes I've ever seen of a company. This shift into AI was definitely planned, but to this degree is insane. Nobody could have predicted that it would go so hard into this path. And I mean, the worst part is that they literally showcase and imply that you can generate not safe for work content. Now, I'm not going to describe what exactly you can generate on there because I'm sure you can guess just by seeing this, but the reason why it's insanely gross is because a lot of people that follow Voiceme and are in the Voiceme Discord are minors. There's a lot of minors that are into making comics and novels, so I'm sure you can see why this is such a bad look. This company is literally touting about how you can generate Sakura from Naruto doing things. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Remember how I was talking about their marketing? It's also changed, and it goes along with what I was just saying. Look at this. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. This is horrible. And this post was the definitive sign to me that this company has gone mask off. They don't care anymore. As far as I know, many artists have left the company all sharing the same amount of disappointment. Where once was a place where you could share your work and be supported by a company that claims to care so much about creators has now dropped all of that in exchange for this. And hold on to your horses, cause it gets worse. Just a disclaimer, before I talk about this company, do not harass anybody from the company. Do not harass the CEO. Do not attack anyone. Don't be crazy. Just don't be crazy. Be normal, okay? That's it. That's my message. Thank you. The CEO, big man in charge, is named Talano, and this guy was one of the spokesmen at the company who preached the company message. And honestly, he did a lot to convince people that what they were doing was real and true and cool and epic. He'd be in the Discord talking with members, he'd talk in depth about what new things were coming onto the site in that Discord, etc, etc. But anyway, I feel as though nobody really did any digging on this guy, because when you simply look at his Twitter, scroll down a little bit, you would see him retweeting things about NFTs, which if you're an artist, that's like the biggest red flag ever if someone's like really in it, really into NFTs. And so a lot of these retweets are posted by people who are crypto or NFT bros. So, you know, in short, the guy is into NFTs and crypto, which makes sense. He's like a business guy. And according to this article, he is very much involved with the business side of things of the company. And you know, it makes sense. If you're not an artist, you might not see the issue with NFTs or crypto being involved with art, but there is so much information out there. You have artists that you pay that can tell you the problems with them, yet you still choose to associate yourself with all of that stuff that's like super scammy and just not really real at all. But look, anyway, aside from that, knowing this information, it makes so much more sense why the company has turned into what it is right now. It's fully focused on AI because it thinks that AI is this new cutting edge thing that will definitely make everybody super happy. But, you know, it's not. But Dran, you shout out. How do you know he's actually into AI, NFTs, or crypto? Maybe he just sold the company, or maybe he used to be into NFTs, well, a long time ago, I was actually hired to be a part of one of the line artists for a story on Voiceme. At the time, I was so excited and worked with this team on a project called Land of Valeria, but I don't know how to pronounce it. It's basically if you mixed fantasy with Pokemon. It didn't really look like something I would personally read, but I didn't care. I had a job that was an art job. This was like a huge thing for me. Then later on, I found out that the webtoon I had been working on was actually a gigantic NFT project, and shortly after, I quit because I didn't want to be attached to that. I don't support that. And it looks like I made the right call because Land of Valeria hasn't made a post since a year ago. So yeah, that shit is probably dead.
And by the way, the only people that supported this project were NFT bros. So that should tell you enough, okay? And this was something that Voiceme ran as an official collaboration. This is something that the CEO would have had to approve. And if anything, he might have been approached by them because he loves NFTs, obviously from his socials. And now let's say you still don't believe me. Well, we've got this video. This was what I showed you at the start of the video, and this video is wild because essentially this video is a presentation by Dylan Talano where he is showcasing his latest and greatest AI technology that is built to AI generate each part of a comic. So why don't we go ahead and take a closer look at what he says.
I'm Dylan Talano, the CEO and founder of Voiceme, and I'll dare to say I'm the largest nerd that is going to touch this stage tonight. And hopefully, over the next 10 minutes, I can share with you how Voiceme has changed the manga and anime industry.
In this section, he's introducing how manga and anime used to be not well known until now, and Voiceme is riding that tide. Basically giving a reason why people should care about this space, though I'm pretty sure everybody at this AI convention could care less about the craft.
And that is why Voiceme is the fastest growing anime platform in the world.
Not anymore, it's not. When I was watching this part, I started to notice that the drawing here looks really weird. I wasn't sure if it was like a rough sketch or something, which doesn't seem fitting for a presentation. Stuff like the left ear melting, the legs looking off, hands also being drawn in a confusing way. I was like, that could be a rough sketch, but then I was pretty confident that he just used AI here. In this section, he talks about his introduction to manga and gives his perspective about how there was not a way for him as a creator to interact with other fans or creators. And then he takes this shift into how he got into esports, how he was the best in the game he played, then later on became more involved in the business side of things with esports, which leads into this funny clip.
It's because gamers love anime. Throughout my whole life,
This next half is just a lot more yapping. He speaks more about his pursuit into the space, how he could fill in the space for NA, creators' struggles, how it was impossible for a manga author to find a creator, then randomly switching it into how if you're a mangaka in Japan, you're expected to die 20 years early. It then leads into him starting his own company, and I guess how his platform solves these issues? I think. Honestly, this part doesn't really matter. It's just more setup. More buzzwords, if you will. The next part, though, is a pretty interesting look into his lens of how someone creates a manga.
if you were to create a manga, any manga, me, if I wanted to start tomorrow, any indie creator, a studio, a platform, it doesn't matter. It is expensive and it is slow. It can take anywhere from 6 months to a year, up to a year and a half, depending on how everything plays out perfectly, to build a manga. It's a team. It costs money. If you're an author, you need artists. If you're funding a story, you need both. It can cost anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 to create one manga.
So yes, it is slow in making manga, but it isn't necessarily expensive. At least, not 50K expensive. If you're an artist that wants to make manga, or a writer who wants to write manga, you can create something without having to shell out so much money like that. And the fact he's saying this really shows that the guy isn't an artist, he's a businessman. Which is fine, you can be a businessman and be working in the art scene, but seeing it as how he's the CEO and he's at an AI convention showing off his webtoon company says a lot about what he truly values. Again, he should know why this is all bad news, yet he's here. And there's a reason why you don't see any webtoon or manga company here, dude. He also assumes that making a comic requires a team, which honestly is not true. At least not like webtoons where they have a drafter, line artist, and colorist. But even for webtoons, I wouldn't say a team is required. The only thing I would say is truly required in a professional setting is an editor to review your work and maybe an assistant. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because he says this about indie creators as well as professionals, which is bullshit. If you're indie, you do not need a team, as if anybody within the indie space could afford a team. If it was really like that, bro, there would be nobody posting comics online. Hell, I'd be on the streets if making a manga costed me $50,000.
But at Voiceme, we changed the story a little bit. Where when we create our stories, when our creators create IP, they're not burnt out. They're not working these crazy hours. We're allowing creators to get their stories told, their voices heard. On Voiceme, it's not a year, it's 4 weeks. It's not 50,000 to 100,000, it's under 1.6 thousand. And in the upcoming months, as we keep developing our tool, that goes down to less than 100.
Then he directly compares the cost of what a webtoon from their team costs, which is 4 weeks of production and 1.6k. I don't know about you, but those numbers in production time sound like those people get underpaid and are rushed. I could be wrong, of course. I've never heard it from anybody on those teams, but like, that just sounds bad for the people working on the project. Like, that is a incredibly fast time and low pay for a whole team, for a company to give. Then finally he starts talking about how his platform will uplift people to tell their stories, specifically because of their tool. And honestly, I think you should just listen to this.
We take our tool that we've been using to build this library, then release it to UGC. Our creators, you, me, anyone around the world, can now create in the same style of God game. If anyone here knows manga or anime, One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, imagine you can create in those styles. Imagine any art style you can now match. That's the power of our technology, where we are turning hundreds of millions of potential readers into now creators in our ecosystem.
Yeah, so what he's describing is just a generative AI program. He's spicing it up to sound like a magical device, but it's really just their own AI generative program. This whole thing of turning readers into creators, quote unquote, is really strange because it doesn't sound like he wants all of those people to tell stories. It sounds like he just wants people to use their AI services, which when you look at the site, that makes sense. And it will inevitably require money to use later down the line if it even gets popular. It's just so bizarre that he's talking about this like people wanted this. Like this solves any of the issues he's put out there. If a reader is inspired enough to want to create, they should learn the craft, not go to an AI generative tool and just shit out 5 million pictures that were trained off of the series they liked. Creating comics is a craft in of itself, so his proposition to get readers into creating by using their AI tools is incredibly scummy because you're setting that person up for failure. That's not how you become a creator. Them making an AI Slop comic does nothing for them, and I would even argue that it sets them on the wrong path. Here is where he starts to showcase his AI tool. The main point he draws from this is that their program is consistent and that their AI generative tool has solved the AI inconsistency problem, which if you don't know is just the nature of AI generating images. It's pretty inconsistent. He says, "We're not like the other AI companies, we're different," specifically saying that this is a tool built by creators for creators, which is just not true. This won't be used like a tool because a tool is supposed to help you create, not do the creating for you. And as this goes on, he shows examples of his AI tool on the big screen, showing the draft, the line art, and then the colored piece. And what's hilarious is that each fucking picture is different from the last. Consistency, my guy! Each picture is different from the last! Why would a drafter even use this program? Why would a line artist use this program? All it takes is one guy to write a stupid prompt to get the end result. He says this is for every type of creator, specifically mentioning the drafter, line artist, and colorist. But again, what the fuck are they gonna do with this tool? There's literally no point. Like, are they gonna generate a different picture based off the last one they saw, just adding in text saying, add line art, add color? Like, what?
And what's the underlying success of all of our tool, of why actually creators really love it? It's ethical. We are the only ethical source tool in the space right now. All of our artwork is our copyright. We own it. It is our proprietary data. We've been a studio for over 3.5 years. We have thousands and thousands of images, tens of thousands of scripts. We were able to take this to build the consistency, but also build an ethical tool. On top of this, creators, anyone can submit images to us that we train our tool with. And then, or we can license big art styles, where anyone can now create stories from that famous top IP. Everything is ethically trained in source.
I hope I don't need to explain this too much, but calling his datasets ethically sourced is such a strange thing. He's pretty open about how the data they used were copyrighted images and scripts that they already owned, which is like kind of concerning. There's been a lot of cases where companies technically own an artist's work that they hired because the artist signed a contract with them that says that their art is theirs now. And so can you guess what happened when AI came around? Yup. They kicked him out after seeing that they could just use all of their artwork that they legally own and dump it into an AI program to spit out more stuff for them for free. We don't need you. So all I gotta say here is that this definitely did not happen peacefully. The likelihood of all that work being used in good faith is pretty low, and I just can't imagine that any artist would still be working with this company after knowing that their art is actively being scraped for their AI tools that they're pushing so hard. He also says how they can just own the licenses to more popular art styles, which if we look at the site right now, we can see that they're using the One Piece art style and the Dragon Ball art style. You know, some of the most popular series ever, so you're telling me that they got the licenses to use that copyrighted work? Yeah. Right, sure. Shonen Jump definitely told you guys, yeah, you can totally use this, bub. Hey, we're glad randoms on the internet can generate our properties doing abhorrent things. Like, there's just no way that you said, yeah, we're gonna shell out so much money for these licenses that they would even accept to? And think about it. If they're using famous art styles on their site, claiming that they got the licenses for them, what makes you think that they won't just scrape whatever comics were uploaded on their site already, counting that as copyrighted work? What is stopping them from doing that? There's so much to not trust with AI as it is, but this is a clear red flag for anybody to not upload their work on this site.
So I just want to really underline this as an important aspect of what makes Voiceme Story Tech actually empowering creators. Let's just say I'm an author. I don't have the art skills, but I use God Game's art style. It is the God Game art team is credited as the artist, and they get royalties as if they were the artists. What we're simply doing is creating a scalable art style for people to create content, but at the same time, acknowledging and rewarding the artists. And artists love that. They don't have to do anything, and they get residuals on all these projects. Their name gets thrown everywhere. It is an exposure, monetary boost on top of everything that our tool has done.
He really tries to make this sound like a good thing. I mean, think about it. Would you want your name attached to some random AI story that was using your art style? If you used your imagination for like 5 seconds, I'm sure you would say, yeah, probably not. Even if you got money from it, would it be enough for you to be okay with your name being on projects that you don't want to represent? I mean, really just think about that. It's like, I highly doubt it would be a large sum of money that you're getting from this, and in exchange your reputation is kind of like all over the place. So, and if we're to look at their site as proof of anything, would you want your name attached to this or this? I don't know. I don't think so. So now we are getting to the meat of how this tool works, and he snidely reveals that nearly every drawing he's had on screen has been generated from this tool. And let me tell you, buddy, it was not a big surprise. It was not. Anyway, he goes on to talk about how it only takes 1 chapter to train from. He brags about how this tool is just such a good fucking tool. It can generate everything to such a high caliber that he didn't even need to change them. I mean, they're practically perfect. I mean, look at this. That's perfect. So again, what the fuck is the point of having anybody on a team if you can just generate the entire thing? The more he explains this, the more it's apparent that this was not made for creators. This was made to replace them. Anyway, how the tool works is basically just how any other AI image tool works. You just make prompts and press enter, dog. Like, are you surprised? And then he says, how artists are using this tool right now is by dumping their script into the program. And this program knows what the fuck is up, dog. It knows all these camera angles. It even knows how to do a worm eye view. You ever heard of that? Didn't think so. Our program, it knows what a worm eye view is. It's been a worm. It can generate a worm. It knows the angle, okay? It can generate those exactly. And of course, I'm highly skeptical that it's anywhere near as good as he says it is. He's most likely just talking it up just because he's at a convention and he's showing this off. But yeah, I mean, from the looks of it, you put in a prompt, you press enter, it generates 3 images from the prompt, and then you just copy paste them in the canvas, and wow, there you go. Now your webtoon looks stale, boxy, and most of all, looks like AI Slop. Great, thanks. He then goes on to talk about how much time this can save, and that is one thing I'll give him. It saves time, alright. And in exchange, you get a worse product. It's a win-win! And get this. He says that a team will spend up to 6 hours on one image on a webtoon. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a bunch of bullshit. It could take 6 hours, but then the end result would look amazing. And just for reference, I make manga. I am the only one that does the art on my manga. And the only times that I've ever spent that long on a panel was when the panel was very detailed and took a lot of time to figure out and get to look right. But most panels don't take me 6 hours, so a team would take even less time than just one guy doing everything. And finally, you should really hear what he says next. It's just about the worst thing, and it opens doors to so many bad things. Take a listen.
Well, with Voiceme, you can draw by sketching. You can upload a sketch. You can upload an image from Instagram, Pinterest. Our tool will then understand that character and create a character in that style. You could automatically create a character with our tool. All this is possible with this feature of our creation. With it as well is, here's an example of us with our changing our clothes.
Huh, wow. So that's just about the worst thing ever. Thanks, CEO of a webtoon company. I knew that artists could trust you. So yeah, I wanted to make this video because it's insane to me how a comic company of this stature, or so they claim, fell from grace and straight down to hell in like 5 minutes. And what's more insane is that barely anybody seems to realize what happened to it. I mean, really, there's nobody that talks about this company, but you know, maybe that's for the best. But if you didn't know before, now you know. I mean, like, it was really obvious. I didn't do any crazy amount of digging for this video. A lot of this stuff is very much surface level. I may do a second video if I find out that they did much worse things. But for now, I'm pretty satisfied with this video. It's by far the longest video I've worked on, so this was quite the video to make. And when it comes to AI videos, they all cover the biggest happenings going on, like I mentioned at the start of the video. But for this one, I wanted to really showcase that it's affecting the comic space as well, and how it's just really gross and annoying and stupid and dumb. It's sad too, because this company originally started off with web novels and stuff like that, just writing. Then it grew, you know, to comics, which was very cool, and it looked like it had a very good future ahead of them, but damn, I guess that happens when you love money a little too much. And as disappointing and frustrating as it is, I don't want to leave this video off negatively. Like, despite all of this, I believe that everybody should still continue to create things and have fun with that. Don't let some dumb AI slop get in the way of why you started creating in the first place. Anyway, I would really appreciate a subscribe, maybe even a like if you liked it. This video took a lot of effort, so yeah, internet points, yay! And before you go, I've also got a quick little announcement. Me, Timothy, and Fahad are hosting a manga competition within our servers. So if you want more information, check that out in the description below. It's really cool with cash prizes, what? And that's about it. Subscribe if you liked, and thank you to my Patreon, Photo Man, you're the man. All my links are in the description below, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
All of the matter right.